Hello friends, welcome back to the part 3 of chapter 7 about the Battle of Nowshera, in which we are going to discuss about the Operation Kipper inside. Ladies and gentlemen, let's delve into the fascinating chapter of 1947-48 Indo-Pakistani War, that is Operation Kipper. This was not just any operation, it was a tactical move that played a crucial role in securing key territories in Jammu and Kashmir region. Imagine this, the war had just begun. Tensions were high and both India and Pakistan were eager to gain control over strategic locations. That's when Operation Kipper came into play. It was launched by the Indian Army with a clear objective: to secure the town of Jhangar, a vital point that had been lost to the Pakistani forces earlier in the conflict. Jhangar was more than just a dot on the map. It was strategically important because it was located on a key route that connected different regions of Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian Army, under the leadership of skilled commanders, planned meticulously. They knew they had to act fast and decisively. The operation involved coordinated attacks, precise artillery fire, and swift movement across difficult terrain. The troops faced not only the enemy but also the harsh weather conditions, and it was a true test of grit and determination. And guess what? The operation was a success. The Indian forces managed to recapture Jhangar, which significantly boosted their morale and provided a strategic advantage in the ongoing conflict. It was a turning point in the war, showcasing the Indian Army capability to execute complex operations under pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Kipper might not be as famous as some of the other battles in the history book, but it serves as a reminder of bravery and strategic acumen of the soldiers who fought for their country. It was about more than just reclaiming land. It was about securing a future, defining borders, and making history. So let's start with today's introduction. Friends, under this Operation Kipper Inside, we'll discuss under the following heads. So let's discuss one by one. Operation Kipper, a critical engagement during 1947-48 Indo-Pakistani War, was all about reclaiming the strategic towns of Jhangar in Jammu and Kashmir. This town was not just a dot on the map, it controlled key supply routes, making it recapture essentials for Indian Army war effort. The Indian Army launched a surprise multi-directional attack backed by powerful air and artillery support that shattered enemy defenses. The operation delivered key lessons. Thorough mop-up operation ensured no enemy force remained, and keeping tactical headquarters close to the front allowed for rapidly decision making, and steadily placed reserve gave commanders the flexibility to respond quickly to any threat on the battlefield. Securing gains after the battle was just as vital as winning it, preventing enemy counterattacks. Forward observation officers directed precise artillery strikes, while casualty relay posts ensured quick treatment for the wounded, boosting morale. Operation Kipper highlighted the power of smart planning, flawless execution, and relentless follow-up, key strategies that shaped future military operation. With this much of intro, let's jump into the topic directly. First, we'll discuss about the context and objective. Friends, let's set the scene for you. Operation Kipper was a key military operation during the First Indo-Pakistani War of 1947-48. The objective was straightforward but critical: recapture the town of Jhangar in Jammu and Kashmir from Pakistani forces. Why Jhangar? You ask. Because it was not just a small town. It was a strategic location that controlled the vital routes and supply lines in the region. Taking back Jhangar was essential for India to secure its border and gain a significant tactical advantage. This operation was all about making a statement, reclaiming lost ground, and fortifying India's position in the newly drawn battlefront. Now let's dive into the details of who did what. The order of battle is essentially the blueprint of any military operation. And for Operation Kipper, it involved a well-coordinated mix of infantry, artillery and armored units. Picture this. The infantry battalion were at the forefront, leading the charge and engaging directly with the enemy forces. Behind them, artillery units provided heavy firepower, breaking down enemy defenses and paving the way for the infantry to move forward. And let's not forget the armored units. They added muscle to the operation, offering both firepower and mobility, ensuring that the advance was not just strong but also swift. Each unit had a specific role, and their seamless coordination was crucial to the operation's success. This was not just about individual heroics. It was a well-oiled machine in action, showing how detailed planning and precise execution can turn the tide in the conflict. Alright, let's break down the tactical deployment of Operation Kipper. And trust me, this is where the real strategies unfold. Picture this. The Indian Army didn't just rush into the Jhangar without a plan. Every move, every position was meticulously thought out to achieve their goal. The infantry units were placed right at the front. These were the brave soldiers leading the charge, directly engaging with the enemy forces. And they were the first line of attack, clearing the path and setting the stage for the rest of the operation. Behind them, artillery units were positioned strategically to provide continuous fire support. Think of them as the heavy hitters, softening up enemy defenses before the infantry made their move. Their job was to rain down fire, break the enemy will to fight, and make sure our troops could advance without facing too much resistance. And then there was the armored units. These were the game changers, positioned to flank the enemy and provide the extra punch of power and mobility. They were ready to adapt, reinforce, and respond to any surprises on the battlefield. This was not just about throwing a troop into the battle, it was a masterclass in coordination and planning. Every unit had a role, and all worked together like a well-oiled machine. The tactical deployment in Operation Kipper is a perfect example of how strategic positioning and precise execution can turn the tide in a conflict. It's all about the right force in the right place at the right time, and that's exactly what happened there. Now let's talk about the outcome of the Operation Kipper and what they meant for the bigger picture of the 1947-48 Indo-Pakistani War. So was the operation successful? Absolutely. The primary goal of Operation Kipper was to recapture Jhangar, a strategically crucial town in Jammu and Kashmir. And that's exactly what the Indian Army achieved. The operation was a significant success, not just in terms of reclaiming territory, but also in boosting the morale of the troops and proving the effectiveness of their strategy and planning. By securing Jhangar, the Indian forces managed to control key supply routes and strengthen their position in the region. This was not just a small victory on the map, it was a tactical win that had a ripple effect on the entire campaign. It demonstrated the Indian Army ability to conduct well-coordinated, precise military operations under challenging conditions. And this success also sent a clear message to the enemy that India was prepared, determined, and capable of defending its territory. But the impact didn't stop there. The operation taught valuable lessons about the importance of coordination, the need for thorough planning, and the ability to adapt to the changing circumstances on the battlefield. These insights would go on to shape future military strategies, not just in this conflict but in many others to come. Ladies and gentlemen, in the end, Operation Kipper was more than just a battle. It was a turning point that highlighted the resilience and strategic prowess of Indian Army during the crucial time in a region's history. Let's dive into how the Indian Army set the stage for Operation Kipper with his pre-attack movements. Imagine this as a calm before the storm, where every move is calculated, every decision meticulously planned to ensure success. And before the main assault on Jhangar, the forces didn't just rush in blindly. There was a lot happening behind the scene. The pre-attack phase was all about positioning. Infantry units were strategically moved into forward positions, quietly and efficiently, to avoid detection by the enemy. And this was crucial because the element of surprise was a key factor. The soldiers had to be ready to strike at the right moment, and that meant getting as close as possible without altering the opposition. Meanwhile, artillery units were placed in locations that gave them the best range to support the infantry. They needed to be in a position where they could deliver effective fire support, taking out enemy defenses and softening their positions before the ground troops advanced. And this careful positioning ensured that when the time came, they could provide a relentless barrage that could pave the way for the main attack. Armored units, on the other hand, were strategically placed to move in swiftly and deliver a powerful blow once the initial assault began. Their mobility was key. They had to be ready to exploit any weaknesses in the enemy lines and provide the necessary support to the infantry. The pre-attack movements were not just about positioning troops. They were about setting the groundwork for a coordinated, multifaceted assault. And it was all about making sure that when the attack began, every unit knew its role. Every soldier was in place and everything was aligned for a successful operation. The success of Operation Kipper was as much about the meticulous pre-attack preparations as it was about the bravery and skill shown during the battle itself. Now let's talk about one of the most fascinating aspects of Operation Kipper, the deception plan. In any military operation, the element of surprise can be a game changer, and the Indian Army knew this well. So to pull off a successful assault on Jhangar, they had to confuse and disorient the enemy. And that's where their clever deception tactics came into play. So what did they do? The Indian forces used a variety of deceptive maneuvers to mislead the Pakistani troops about their true intentions and the actual point of attack. This was not just a case of hiding their plans. It was about actively feeding the enemy false information. They conducted fake troop movement and set up dummy positions to make it look like they were preparing for attack from different direction. The goal was simple but brilliant. Make the enemy believe they were going to strike in one place, while they were actually gearing up to hit somewhere else. So by creating this confusion, the Indian Army forced the Pakistani forces to spread their defenses thin, covering multiple potential attack points instead of focusing on the real target. This deception plan played a crucial role in the initial success of the operation. When the actual assault on Jhangar began, the enemy was caught off guard. Their defenses were scattered and uncoordinated, and they were unable to mount an effective response to the India's attack. The Indian Army use of tactical deception was a masterstroke, allowing them to gain the upper hand right from the start and achieve this objective more effectively. In the end, it was not just the strength of the assault that mattered, but the strategy behind it. The deception plan showed that winning a battle often comes down to outthinking your opponent, using every tool at your disposal to create confusion and seize the advantage. And in Operation Kipper, that's exactly what the Indian Army did. Let's talk about the initial assault of Operation Kipper. This was the moment when all the planning, positioning and deception came together in a coordinated and swift attack that completely overwhelmed the enemy's defenses. Imagine the scene. The Indian Army having strategically positioning its forces and successfully misled the enemy with its deception plan, and was now ready to strike hard and fast. As soon as the operation began, the infantry units moved in with their speed and precision, launching a powerful frontal attack on Jhangar. And these troops were well prepared and knew exactly what they needed to do. They hit the enemy lines with a ferocity that took the Pakistani forces by surprise. The artillery units, which had been carefully positioned using the pre-attack phase, opened up with heavy bombardment, targeting key enemy positions and defenses. This artillery barrage was relentless, designed to soften up the enemy and create chaos in their ranks. The armored units then moved in, exploiting the gap created by the infantry and artillery. Their role was crucial. They provided the additional firepower and mobility needed to break through the remaining defenses and push deeper into the enemy territory. The combination of these forces working together, infantry, artillery, and an armored unit, was a textbook example for a coordinated assault. It was fast, it was decisive, and it left the enemy reeling. The initial assault didn't just overwhelm the enemy defenses. It set the tone for everything that followed. By hitting hard and hitting fast, the Indian army was able to secure a foothold in Jhangar, paving the way for further advances and consolidation. The success of this assault was a clear demonstration of the power of planning and coordination. It showed that when you bring all the pieces together, strategic positioning, tactical deception, and a well-executed attack, you can achieve a swift and a decisive victory, just as the Indian Army did in Operation Kipper. Now let's focus on the crucial role of air support in Operation Kipper. Imagine the battlefield as a chessboard, with every move carefully planned to outmaneuver the enemy. In this operation, air support was like having an eagle's eye view and a powerful hand all at once. The Indian Air Force provided critical air strikes that were instrumental in weakening the enemy's position before the ground forces moved in. These air strikes were not just about firepower, they were about precision. Pilots targeted key enemy strongholds, supply lines, and communication hubs, disrupting their ability to mount a coordinated defenses. But it didn't stop there. Air support also played a vital role in covering the advancing ground forces. As the infantry and armored units moved forward, the planes above provided a protective shield, striking at any enemy reinforcements that tried to move in and counterattack. This air cover was essential for maintaining the momentum of the assault and ensuring that the troop on the ground could advance with confidence. By taking out key targets and disrupting the enemy's plan, air support ensured that the ground forces had the upper hand from the very start. It was a perfect example of how air power can shape the battlefield, providing both a strategic advantage and a psychological edge. The success of Operation Kipper was greatly enabled by this coordinated air support, which worked hand in hand with the artillery and ground forces to deliver a knockout blow to the enemy. Now let's talk about the role of artillery bombardment in Operation Kipper. This was a key factor that set the stage for the ground assault. Imagine a relentless storm of shells raining down on the enemy positions. And that's what the artillery unit unleashed. The bombardment was intense and meticulously planned with one clear goal: to soften up the enemy defenses and disrupt their command and control system before the ground troops moved in. And this was not just random shelling, it was a focused, calculated effort. The artillery targeted specific enemy fortifications, supply lines, and communication hubs. By doing this, they created chaos and confusion within the enemy ranks, making it difficult for them to coordinate a cohesive defense or respond effectively to the upcoming ground assault. The continuous shelling demoralized the enemy forces, breaking their resolve and weakening their positions. The artillery bombardment was crucial because it paved the way for the infantry and armored units to advance. With the enemy's defenses already battered and their command structure in disarray, the ground forces could move in with greater confidence and less resistance. It's like preparing the battlefield for the final push, taking out the biggest obstacle so that when the assault begins, it has the maximum impact. In Operation Kipper, the artillery did exactly what it was supposed to do: clear the path for advancing troops and ensure that the initial assault had the element of surprise and overwhelming force. This coordination between artillery and ground force was key to the operation's success, demonstrating the power of well-executed fire support in achieving strategic military objectives. Now let's talk about the power of coordination in Operation Kipper. This operation was a masterclass in synchronization where air, artillery and ground forces worked seamlessly together to achieve a common goal. Think of it like a well-conducted orchestra, where every section knows its part and plays in perfect harmony to create a powerful, unified performance. In the case of Operation Kipper, this orchestration was all about overwhelming the enemy and capturing key objectives with speed and precision. First, the Air Force took to the skies, launching targeted airstrikes that weakened enemy positions and disrupted their ability to defend effectively. These strikes were not just about brute force, they were strategic, aiming to knock out crucial enemy defenses and create opening for the ground troops. Simultaneously, the artillery units unleashed a barrage of shelling, aimed at softening up the enemy further and causing maximum disruption to their command and control. This relentless artillery fire ensured that by the time the ground forces advanced, the enemy was already on the back foot, struggling to regroup and mount a coherent defense. Then came the ground forces, the infantry and the armored units, moving in swiftly to exploit the chaos created by air and artillery attacks. They advanced with speed and determination, targeting the weakened enemy positions and securing key objectives rapidly. This level of coordination was crucial. Each force supported the others, ensuring that the enemy was continuously under pressure and unable to recover. The synchronized effort of air, artillery and ground forces created a multiplier effect, amplifying the impact of each individual action and leading to a rapid and decisive victory. In Operation Kipper, it was not just about individual heroics or isolated action. It was about a coordinated strategy where every unit knew its role and executed it flawlessly. This kind of synchronization overwhelmed the enemy, allowing for the rapid capture of key objectives and demonstrating the effectiveness of well-planned, integrated military operation. Let's dive into one of the critical lessons from Operation Kipper: the importance of thorough mop-up operation. Picture this. After a successful assault, the battle may seem won, but the job is not done just yet. It's not just about capturing territory, it is about making sure that no enemy remnants are left behind to regroup and pose a threat later on. That's where mop-up operations comes in. During Operation Kipper, once the primary objective were achieved and Jhangar was recaptured, the Indian Army didn't rest. They immediately focused on conducting thorough mop-up operations. This meant combining through the entire area to eliminate any remaining enemy fighters, securing all corners of the newly captured territory and ensuring that no pockets of resistance could spring up later. Why is this so crucial? because if any enemy forces are left behind, they can regroup, rearm, and launch counterattacks, threatening the hard-won gains and putting the entire operation at risk. So by ensuring a thorough mop-up, the Indian Army prevented any such threats, solidifying their control over the area and protecting their troops from surprise attacks. Ladies and gentlemen, this lesson on Operation Kipper underscores a fundamental principle of military strategy. Success is not just about initial victory, it is about securing and holding on to those gains. Thorough mop-up operations are essential for transforming a tactical win into a lasting strategic advantage, making sure that every inch of ground won is firmly under control and free from future threats. Now let's talk about one of the key takeaways from Operation Kipper: the importance of comprehensive post-assault clearing to consolidate tactical victories. It is easy to think that once an assault is successful, the hard work is done. But as the Operation Kipper showed us, securing a battlefield requires more than just winning the initial fight. It's about what comes after. After the successful assault on Jhangar, the Indian Army didn't just stop at capturing the town. They understood the necessity of thorough post-assault clearing, which means systematically going through the entire area to ensure that no enemy forces were hiding, no threats were lurking, and no chances of a counter-attack remained. This comprehensive clearing was crucial for consolidating the tactical victory that had just achieved. Why does this matter so much? Because any overlooked enemy element could regroup and strike back, potentially turning a hard-fought victory into a dangerous standoff or worse. By clearing every part of captured territory, the Indian Army ensured that their victory was secure and their forces were safe from surprise counterattack. Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Kipper taught a vital lesson. Winning a battle is just a first step. So to truly capitalize on a tactical victory, thorough post-assault clearing operations are essential. They turn a temporary success into a lasting one, making sure that all gains are fully secured and no hidden threats remain. It is a reminder that in military strategy, attention to detail and follow through are just as important as the initial attacks. Now let's focus on the crucial lesson from Operation Kipper: the need to consolidate operational success through thorough mop-up operation. Friends, after a successful assault, it's not just about celebrating the victory, but about securing it. Operation Kipper showed us that once the primary objective were achieved, the real work began, ensuring that every corner of the captured territory was cleared of enemy presence. Why is this so important? Because a victory is not truly secure until you have ensured that there are no chance of an enemy resurgence. Thorough mop-up operations are essential to prevent any remnants of the enemy from regrouping, rearming, and launching surprise counterattacks. It's about making sure that every threat is neutralized, that your hard-won gains are protected. But systematically clearing the area after the initial assault, the Indian Army in Operation Kipper was able to solidify the overall success of their military campaign. They didn't leave anything to chance, knowing that even a small enemy presence left behind could grow into a larger threat. This approach ensured that their tactical victories were not just temporary but lasting, contributing to the broader goals of the campaign. The lesson here is clear: consolidating operational success isn't just about winning the battle. It's about what you do afterwards to ensure that victory is maintained. Thorough mop-up operations prevent any enemy resurgence and secure the stability of newly captured territory, making sure that the success of the military campaign is both comprehensive and enduring. Let's discuss another key lessons from the Operation Kipper. The importance of the tactical headquarters being close to the front line. Having the tactical headquarters near the action was a game changer. Why? Because proximity allows for the real-time coordination and rapid decision making, both of which are crucial for enhancing operational effectiveness on the battlefield. Imagine being able to make decisions on a fly based on what's happening in real time, rather than waiting for reports to filter back from the front. And that's exactly what the Indian Army could do in Operation Kipper. With the tactical headquarters positioned close to the front line, commanders had direct access to the latest information and could observe the battlefield dynamics firsthand. This allowed them to react quickly to any changes, adapt their strategies as needed, and provide immediate guidance to the troops. This kind of real-time coordination meant that adjustment could be made swiftly, whether it was redirecting forces, calling in additional support, or changing the focus of an attack. It reduced the lag between identifying an issue and taking action, which is vital in a fast-paced military operation where every second counts. The lesson here is clear. The proximity of tactical headquarters to the front line is not just a matter of convenience. It is a strategic advantage. It enables commanders to maintain a high level of situational awareness and ensure that decision making is fast and responsive to the realities on the ground. In Operation Kipper, this proximity was a key factor in operation success, demonstrating the value of keeping command close to the action. Now let's talk about another vital lesson from the Operation Kipper: the benefit of improved command and control through close proximity of the tactical headquarters to the front lines. Ladies and gentlemen, in any military operation, the ability to quickly adapt to the changing conditions on the battlefield can mean the difference between success and failure. Having the command center close to the actions provided in the Indian Army with a significant advantage. And this proximity meant that commanders could closely monitor the situation as it unfolded. They were right there in the thick of it with a clear view of what was happening on the ground. This direct oversight allowed them to make informed decisions quickly and respond immediately to any shift in the battle. For example, if the enemy made an unexpected move or if an opportunity arose to exploit a weaknesses, commanders were able to adjust their tactics in the real time. This level of responsiveness ensured that the Indian forces could maintain the upper hand and keep the momentum of the operations going. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Keeping command and control close to the front line enhances the unit's ability to react swiftly and effectively. It reduces the delay in communication and decision making, providing a critical edge in dynamic combat situations. In Operation Kipper, this approach proved invaluable, demonstrating that sometimes being closer to the action is exactly what is needed to secure a decisive victory. One of the key takeaways from the Operation Kipper is the importance of enhanced situational awareness, and this comes down to the proximity of commanders to the front lines. Ladies and gentlemen, when commanders were close to the action, they gain a much clearer understanding of the tactical landscape. This is not just about looking at the map or receiving reports. It is about seeing things firsthand, feeling the pulse of the battlefield and understanding the nuances that can make all the difference in the military operations. Being on the ground near the front lines allowed commanders in Operation Kipper to directly observe how battles are unfolding. They could see where the enemy was strongest, where they were faltering, and where opportunities existed to press the advantage. This real-time on-the-ground perspective provided invaluable insight that no reports could capture. With this enhanced situational awareness, commanders were able to make more informed decisions. Whether it was calling in additional support, shifting the focus of an attack, or reinforcing of vulnerable positions. It ensured that every move was based on the most accurate and up-to-date information, which is crucial when the situation can change in an instant. The lesson here is clear. Proximity to the front lines enhances a commander's ability to understand the battlefield dynamics deeply and thoroughly. This led to more informed and effective decision making, which can significantly impact the outcome of an operation. In Operation Kipper, this approach was a key factor in achieving success, showing that being close to the action is not just beneficial, it is essential. Let's discuss the crucial lesson from the Operation Kipper: the strategic advantage of centrally placed reserve. Friends, in any military operation, flexibility and resilience are key. And this is where centrally located reserves come into play. Having reserves positioned centrally means they can be quickly deployed to any part of the battlefield wherever they needed most. In Operation Kipper, the Indian Army made sure to position their reserves in the central location. Why was this important? Because it allowed them to rapidly support the main effort or reinforce any sector of the battlefield that was under threat. Whether it was providing additional strength to an ongoing assault or shoring up defenses where the enemy was pushing hard, these reserves were always ready to move quickly. This kind of flexibility is invaluable. It ensures that army can adapt to the changing conditions and respond to the unexpected challenges. If the enemy launched a surprise attack or if a new opportunity arose to exploit a weakness, the centrally placed reserve could be deployed swiftly to seize the moment or counter the threat. The lesson here is that centrally placed reserve enhances both operational flexibility and resilience. They give commanders the ability to reinforce success or respond to the crisis without delay, maintaining momentum and protecting hard-won gains. In Operation Kipper, this approach proved its worth, showing that having a strategic reserve ready to deploy at a moment's notice can make all the difference in achieving and sustaining victory. One of the standout lessons from the Operation Kipper is the importance of quick reaction capability. Friends, in the heat of the battle, the condition can change rapidly and unexpectedly. Having the ability to respond swiftly to these changes can be the key to ensuring mission success. And this is where quick reaction capability comes into play. During Operation Kipper, the Indian Army's centrally placed reserve provided a significant quick reaction capability. This strategic positioning allowed commanders to deploy additional forces rapidly wherever they were needed most on the battlefield. And if a new threat emerged or an unexpected opportunity presented itself, the reserves could be mobilized immediately to address the situation. This kind of agility is crucial in dynamic combat environments. It allowed commanders to adapt on the fly, reinforcing positions under attack or exploiting vulnerabilities in the enemy's lines. With quick reaction capability, decisions can be translated into action without delay, maintaining the momentum of the operation and keeping the enemy off balance. The lesson here is that quick reaction capability is not just a nice to have, it is a must have. It ensures that commander can react to the changing battlefield conditions effectively, making sure that no opportunity is missed and no threat is left unaddressed. In Operation Kipper, this capability was a vital component of the operation's success, demonstrating the value of being able to respond quickly and decisively in the face of the unexpected. One of the key lessons from the Operation Kipper is the value of operational responsiveness, particularly when it comes to the strategic placement of reserves. Having reserves centrally positioned on the battlefield is a game changer. Why? Because it allows commanders to be incredibly responsive to the flow of the battle, able to quickly reinforce weak points or exploit breakthroughs as they happen. During Operation Kipper, the Indian Army's centrally positioned reserves played a pivotal role in enhancing operational responsiveness. When the situation on the ground shifted, whether due to an enemy push or an opportunity to advance, these reserves could be swiftly deployed to support the main effort. If a gap appeared in the enemy lines, the reserves could exploit that opening, turning a small breakthrough into a decisive advantage. Alternatively, if a section of the front line was under heavy attack, the reserves could be moved quickly to reinforce and stabilize the situation. This ability to react promptly and flexibly to the changing conditions is crucial for maintaining momentum and capitalizing on opportunities in combat. It means that commanders are not just passively reacting to the enemy's move, but actively shaping the battlefield to their advantage. The lesson here from the Operation Kipper is clear. Centrally positioned reserves significantly enhance the force's operational responsiveness. They give commanders the flexibility to adjust tactics in the real time, ensuring that they can reinforce strength or exploit weaknesses as needed. This approach proved invaluable in the operation, demonstrating that the ability to respond quickly to the battlefield dynamics is essential for achieving and sustaining success. Moving next, let's start about one of the most crucial lessons from the Operation Kipper revolves around the importance of consolidation and thorough follow-up after a successful military action. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not just about winning the battle. It is about making sure that every victory is maintained and the enemy cannot regroup or counterattack. This is where thorough mop-up operations come into play. After the initial success in Operation Kipper, the Indian Army understood that their work was far from over. They conducted detailed mop-up operation to ensure that no enemy remnants were left behind in newly captured territory. Why was this so important? Because any leftover enemy forces, even a small group, could pose a significant future threat. They might launch surprise attacks, disrupt supply lines, or create instability that could undermine the entire operation. So by thoroughly sweeping the area and clearing out all the remaining opposition, the Indian Army secured their hard-won gains and prevented any potential resurgence of the enemy forces. This methodical approach ensured that territory was truly under control, reducing the risk of future conflict and providing a stable foundation for further operations. The lesson from Operation Kipper is clear. Consolidation and follow-up are essential components of any military success. Thorough mop-up operations ensure that victories are not just temporary but lasting. They eliminate any remaining threats and secure the gains made, allowing the momentum of success to be carried forward without the risk of being undone by unexpected counterattacks. This strategy proved vital in the operation, highlighting the importance of attention to detail and complete the control after a battle. Moving ahead, let's discuss about one of the key lessons from the Operation Kipper, which is the importance of consolidating operational success through thorough mop-up operation. Friends, it's not enough to simply achieve an initial victory on the battlefield. The real challenge lies in ensuring that this victory is sustained and the enemy does not have the opportunity to regroup or counterattack. In Operation Kipper, after successfully capturing key objectives, the Indian Army didn't just stop there. They immediately focused on thorough mop-up operation to ensure that no enemy forces were left behind. This meant systematically searching and clearing the newly secured areas to eliminate any remaining pockets of resistance. Why is this so crucial? Because even a few scattered enemy fighters left unchecked can regroup and launch surprise attack, potentially jeopardizing the enemy's entire operation. So by conducting comprehensive mop-up operation, the Indian Army was able to prevent any enemy resurgence, effectively solidifying their gains. This approach ensured that the territory remained secure and the success of the campaign was not only achieved but also maintained. The lesson here is clear. To truly consolidate operational success through thorough mop-up operations are essential. They prevent the enemy from bouncing back and ensure that the hard-won gains of a military campaign are protected and secured for a long term. This strategy was a cornerstone of Operation Kipper's success, demonstrating the importance of leaving no room for the enemy to recover or retaliate. One of the vital lessons from Operation Kipper is the importance of effective follow-up actions after the initial assault. Ladies and gentlemen, securing a victory on the battlefield is just the beginning. The real challenge lies in making sure that victory is sustained and the enemy does not have a chance to recover or regroup. After a successful assault, as seen in the Operation Kipper, the Indian Army didn't just rest on their laurels. They understood that follow-up actions were crucial to capitalizing on the momentum of the initial attack. This meant quickly consolidating their positions, reinforcing their gains, and thorough clearing the area of any remaining enemy forces. By doing so, they ensured that the enemy had no opportunity to regroup or launch a counterattack. These follow-up actions were all about securing the battlefield, establishing control, and preventing any resurgence of enemy activities. It's about taking the initial success and turning it into a lasting strategic advantage. The lesson here is straightforward but powerful. Effective consolidation and follow-up actions are essential components of any successful military campaign. They are what turns a temporary victory into a permanent one, ensuring that hard-fought gains are fully secured and the enemy is left without a chance to recover. Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Kipper clearly demonstrates that without these follow-up actions, even a well-executed assault can be quickly undone. Alright, let's break down why Forward Observation Officers or FOOs were so crucial in Operation Kipper. Imagine being in the thick of the battle. Things are changing by the minute, and every second counts. That's where FOO comes in. They are the eyes and ears on the ground, right at the front lines, providing commanders with real-time intelligence about what is happening. In Operation Kipper, FOOs played a vital role. They were right there with the troops, observing enemy movement, spotting their strengths and weaknesses, and quickly relaying that information back to the commanders. And this was not just any information. It was a timely, precise, and incredibly valuable. Why does this matter? Because having accurate, up-to-date, to-the-minute intelligence allows commanders to make smart, informed decisions. If the forward observation officers noticed a gap in the enemy defenses or saw the enemy were preparing for the counterattack, they could immediately report back. This meant commanders could adjust their tactics on the spot, maybe by exploiting the gap to push forward or by shoring up their defenses in the anticipation of an attack. The bottom line is this: forward observation officers are essential for maintaining a clear picture on the battlefield. Their timely intelligence helps commanders stay one step ahead, adapt to the changes, and make decisions that can turn the tide of the battle. Operation Kipper showed us that without forward observation officers providing this critical information, even the best laid plan could fall apart. It is a reminder of how important it is to have the right people in the right place, watching and listening, and ensuring every move is based on the latest, most accurate information. Let's dive into why accurate targeting information was a game changer in Operation Kipper. Picture this: you are in the middle of the battle and you have got the artillery and air support ready to back you up. But here is the catch: you need to know exactly where to aim and make every shot counts. That's where accurate targeting information comes into play, and it is absolutely crucial. In Operation Kipper, forward observation officers were the heroes on the ground. They were right there with the troops, keeping a close eye on the enemy and sending the back precise detail about their positions and movements. This was not just about guessing where the enemy might be, it was about knowing exactly where they were and what they were doing in real time. Why does this matter so much? Because when you have accurate targeting information, you can direct your artillery and air strikes with pinpoint precision. Instead of wasting shells or bombs, you are hitting the enemy where it hurt the most. You are taking out their strongholds, disrupting their plans, and making sure that every shot counts. With this information, you are not shooting in the dark, and that's not what you want in the heat of the battle. But with it, you are in control. You are maximizing the impact of your artillery and air support, and you are making sure that every move is effective as possible. So the key takeaway from Operation Kipper is clear. Accurate targeting information is not just a nice to have, but it's a must have. It is what allows forces to strike effectively, keep the enemy on the back foot, and turn the tide of the battle. It shows us the power of being precise and how the right information at the right time can make all the difference. Alright, let's break down how the forward observation officers make all the difference in the Operation Kipper with their role in coordinated maneuver support. Picture this: a complex battlefield where every move needs to be perfectly timed and every unit has to work together like clockwork. This is not just about moving troops around, it is about making sure that every step is in sync to achieve the bigger goal. In Operation Kipper, forward observation officers were right there at the front, guiding ground forces with real-time intelligence. They were not just standing by, they were actively involved, giving critical directions to ensure that every unit knew exactly where to go and when to strike. Their job was to keep a close watch on the battlefield, providing commanders with up to the minute details on the enemy positions and movement. Why is this so crucial? Because in the chaos of battle, coordination is everything. When forward observation officers provide precise on the ground guidance, it allows ground forces to maneuver in the perfect sync. Think of it like a dance where every step needs to match the beat. Forward observation officers are the ones keeping everyone on the rhythm, ensuring that every move is effective and contribute to the overall operations. Thanks to the forward observation officers, the troops knew exactly when to advance, when to hold back, and where to position themselves to support each other. This level of coordination was key success to the Operation Kipper. This meant that every unit was working together, each move was calculated, and the operations flowed smoothly. The takeaway here is simple. Coordinated maneuver support is absolutely vital in any military operations. Forward observation officers provide the crucial link between what is happening on the ground and the decisions being made at the top. They ensure that every action is strategic, every unit is in sync, and whole operation is moving towards success. Operation Kipper showed us just how powerful that can be when everyone is working together seamlessly, guided by accurate and real-time information. Moving ahead, let's talk about the vital lessons from the Operation Kipper that often goes unnoticed but is incredibly important. The establishment of casualty relay posts. Now imagine you are in the middle of the battle where every moment counts and lives are on the line. The ability to quickly evacuate and treat wounded person can be the difference between life and death. And this is where the casualty relay post comes into play. Friends, during Operation Kipper, the Indian Army set up these casualty relay posts to ensure that injured soldiers were promptly evacuated from the front lines and received the medical attention they needed as quickly as possible. These posts were strategically located close to the action, making it easier to get the wounded out of harm's way without delay. Why is this so crucial? Because in the chaos of combat, time is everything. The faster a wounded soldier can receive care, the better their chance of survival. And by having these relay posts in place, the Indian Army could minimize the time it took to transport injured personnel to medical facilities, significantly reducing the risk of loss of life. Ladies and gentlemen, the establishment of casualty relay posts during Operation Kipper showed the importance of not just focusing on the fight, but also taking care of those who are fighting. It demonstrated a commitment to the well-being of the troops and ensured that the operation could continue without being bogged down by high casualty rates. The key takeaway here is clear. Casualty relay posts are essential in any military operation. They ensure that wounded personnel receive prompt and effective treatment, helping to save lives and maintain the fighting strength of the force. Operation Kipper highlighted this lesson, showing that taking care of your people is just as important as achieving your objectives on the battlefield. Let's talk about another crucial lesson from Operation Kipper: the importance of timely casualty evacuation. Imagine a battlefield where every second counts and the difference between life and death could be just a few minutes. That's why getting wounded soldiers the medical attention they need as quickly as possible is absolutely vital. During Operation Kipper, the Indian Army prioritized the rapid evacuation of injured soldiers. They set up systems and processes to ensure that anyone wounded on the battlefield could be swiftly moved to medical facilities for treatment. And this was not just about moving people, it was about saving lives. Why is timely evacuation so important? Because the quicker a soldier receives medical attention, the better their chances of survival and recovery. When injuries are treated promptly, it minimizes complications and speeds up recovery time. In the chaos of battle, this kind of swift action can make all the difference, ensuring that wounded soldiers get back on their feet or at very least are stabilized and give the best chance to survive. Friends, Operation Kipper showed us that the timely casualty evacuation is not just a logistical task, it is a life-saving operation. And by focusing on quick medical response, the Indian Army was able to protect its most valuable resources, its soldiers. This approach not only boosted morale by showing that every life was valued, but also ensured that the fighting force remained strong and resilient. The lesson here is clear. In any military operation, timely casualty evacuation is essential. It enables rapid medical attention for injured soldiers, increasing their chances of survival and recovery. Friends, Operation Kipper underscored this point, demonstrating that swift medical care can have a profound impact on both the outcome of the battle and the well-being of troops involved. Now let's talk about how effective casualty management can boost the operation resilience. A key takeaway from Operation Kipper: imagine being on battlefield, knowing that if you or your comrades get injured, there is a system in place to ensure you receive immediate care. This knowledge is not just comforting, it's a game changer for morale and combat effectiveness. During Operation Kipper, the Indian Army prioritized casualty management by setting up efficient system for timely evacuation and treatment of the wounded. They understood that maintaining the strength and the morale of their forces was essential for operation success. And by ensuring that injured soldiers were quickly cared for, they could keep their fighting force robust and ready to continue the mission. Why does this matter so much? Because effective casualty management directly impacts the resilience of the entire operation. When soldiers know that they will be swiftly evacuated and treated if they are hurt, they are more likely to stay focused and committed to their tasks. This boosts morale across the board, as troops feel valued and supported by their leadership. Moreover, by minimizing the number of fatalities and long-term injuries, effective casualty management helps sustain combat effectiveness. It means that more soldiers are able to return to duty and contributing to the mission, keeping the operation strong and reducing the need for replacement. The lesson from Operation Kipper is clear. Improved operational resilience comes from taking care of your soldiers, both in and out of combat. Effective casualty management ensures that the force remains capable and motivated, directly enhancing the overall success of the operation. It is about more than just winning the battle. It is about maintaining the strength and spirit of your troops, ensuring that they are always ready for whatever comes next. Moving further ahead, ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap up by discussing the significance of Operation Kipper and the impact it had. Friends, Operation Kipper was more than just a military engagement. It was a pivotal moment that underscored the importance of thorough planning, coordination, and execution in achieving strategic objectives. What made Operation Kipper stand out and what its meticulous approach to every aspect of the operation? From the initial deception plan and precise positioning of the forces to timely use of air and artillery support, every move was carefully thought out. The operation showed that success in battle is not just about brute force, it is about having a clear strategy, coordinating every element of your forces and executing your plan with precision. So by successfully recapturing key territories, Operation Kipper demonstrated how effective military strategy could turn the tide of a conflict. It reinforced the value of integrating different elements like ground forces, artillery, air support, and logistics into a cohesive effort that maximizes strength and mitigates weaknesses. The operation's success also highlighted the importance of follow-up actions and thorough mop-up operation, which ensured that the initial gains were consolidated and sustained. And this comprehensive approach not only secured the battlefield but also prevented any enemy resurgence, solidifying the overall success of the campaign. In essence, Operation Kipper was a textbook example of how meticulous planning, strong coordination, and disciplined execution can lead to decisive victories. It taught invaluable lessons that continue to shape military strategies today, proving that thorough preparation and unity of effort are key to achieving strategic goals. Let's talk about the lasting impact of Operation Kipper and how the lesson learned from the pivotal engagement has shaped the future of the military operation. You see, Operation Kipper was not just a one-off victory. It was a masterclass in military strategy, and the insight gained from it have been invaluable for planning similar operations down the line. First off, one of the big takeaways was the value of centrally placed reserve. Now, why does this matter? Think about it like this. Having your reserve positioned centrally means they are ready to move quickly to wherever they are needed most on the battlefield. During Operation Kipper, this strategy allowed commanders to be super responsive. If there was a sudden enemy push or if an opportunity opened up to advance, those centrally placed reserves could be deployed in a flash. And then there is the importance of effective mop-up operation. After the initial victory, Operation Kipper taught us that you just can't stop at winning the battle. You have to make sure the enemy does not have a chance to come back and hit you when you least expect it. Ladies and gentlemen, by doing this, the Indian Army secured their gains and make sure that victory was complete and lasting. The lesson from Operation Kipper have a ripple effect. They have shaped how military operations are planned and executed even today. By keeping reserve flexible and focusing on thorough follow-up actions, future engagements can be more successful and resilient. And that is a lesson that continues to resonate in the military strategy to this day. Alright, let's break down from some crucial lessons from Operation Kipper that are still shaping the military strategy today. There are two big takeaways that really stands out. The importance of having the tactical headquarters close to the front line and critical role of forward observation officers in providing real-time intelligence. Let's first talk about the tactical headquarters. In Operation Kipper, having the command center right near the front line made a huge difference. Why is this so important? Well, think about it. When commanders are close to the action, they can see what is happening as it unfolds. They are not waiting around for a report to come in, they are right there, experiencing the battle in the real time. And this allows them to make quick decisions and adapt to their strategies instantly based on what they are seeing. And secondly, now let's focus on forward observation officers. These officers are the unsung heroes on the battlefield. During Operation Kippers, forward observation officers are out in the field, right at the front, providing real-time updates on enemy movements and positions. Their job was to spot the enemy, identify targets, and relay that information back to the commanders. This kind of real-time intelligence is absolutely crucial. So what does the bottom line here? So the lessons from the Operation Kipper are clear. For any military operation to be successful, you need two things. Your tactical headquarters close to the action and your forward observation officers providing up-to-the-minute intelligence. It is about having real-time understanding of the battlefield and being able to respond instantly to whatever comes your way. And these are the lessons that will continue to guide military strategies for the long time to come. Alright, let's bring it all together by looking at the key takeaways from the Operation Kipper. Friends, this operation was a great example of how crucial thorough planning and effective executions are in achieving success on the battlefield. Here is the thing, Operation Kipper was not just about going in and hoping for the best. No, it was about meticulous planning. Thinking through every detail, anticipating every challenges and preparing for every possibility. The commanders didn't leave anything to chance. They mapped out every move, made sure every unit knew exactly what they needed to, and coordinated all elements, infantry, artillery, air support into a well-oiled machine. But having a solid plan is just one part of the equation. The real magic happened in how the plan was executed. Ladies and gentlemen, when the operation started, everything clicked into place. The troops moved swiftly and decisively, and the artillery was spot on, and the air support was right there when it was needed. It was all about precision and timing, making sure that every part of the plan was carried out exactly as it was intended. This flawless execution ensured that the operation didn't just meet its objective, it smashed out. So what is the lesson here? It is simple but powerful. Success doesn't just happen. It is all about the preparation and how you follow through. Operation Kipper showed us that when you plan meticulously and execute flawlessly, you can achieve your strategic goals and comes out on the top. It is a reminder that whether in military operation or in life, thorough planning and effective executions are key to making things happen and getting the result you want. Alright, let's break down why the lessons from Operation Kipper are still so important today and how we can use them to make future military operations even more successful. Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Kipper was not just a one-time win. It was a showcase of smart strategy, careful execution, and teaching us lessons that have stood the test of time. First up, let's talk about centrally placed reserves. Friends, think of these reserves as your secret weapon, ready to be deployed whenever and wherever they are needed most. Friends, during Operation Kipper, having reserves positioned centrally was a game changer. It allowed commanders to quickly send reinforcements to any part of the battlefield that needed. This kind of quick and adaptable response is the crucial in any battle, and it's a lesson we can definitely use going forward. And then there is the importance of effective mop-up operation. Friends, after winning a battle, the job is not over. Operation Kipper taught us that you need to thoroughly secure the area. Why? Because if you don't, those remnants can regroup and strike back and turn your victory into a loss. So what is the takeaways for the future military engagements? Is simple. These lessons are timeless. By using the strategies from Operation Kipper, like keeping reserves flexible and centrally located and making sure every victory is thoroughly consolidated, we can enhance the effectiveness and success of future operations. It's all about being prepared, being adaptable, and making sure every win is a lasting one. Operation Kipper showed us how it is done, and those lessons are just as relevant today as they were back then. And last, let's talk about the vital role that the forward observation officers all played in Operation Kipper and why their contribution was so crucial. These officers were the unsung heroes on the battlefield, providing real-time intelligence and guidance that made a huge difference in the operation success. Ladies and gentlemen, forward observation officers also played a key role in improving command and control. And by providing up-to-the-minute updates, they ensured that everyone from the soldier on the ground to the higher-ups make strategic decisions was on the same page. And let's not forget the impact of supporting fires. With the forward observation officers guiding the artillery and airstrikes, the army could maximize the impact of these powerful tools. Instead of just firing blindly, they were able to hit precise targets, disrupt enemy formations, and pave the way for the ground forces to advance. This kind of precision made a huge difference in the outcome of Operation Kipper. The bottom line, forward observation officers were crucial to the operation success. They provided the real-time intelligence and guidance that kept the battle on track and improved command and control and ensured that every shot counted. Friends, here we come to the end of part 3 of chapter 7. Please do like, share and subscribe and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.